Hello guys, it's me, the Tank Index here, and today I'm going to be talking about the Orion-Wagen, which was another German tank that was actually produced and used in World War One. We'll talk about that later, but yes, it is a very interesting story. It is it's one of those tanks that the history behind it is probably more interesting than the actual vehicle itself. So let's just get right into it with the history of the tank. So at a presentation of German tank concepts, which the same one where the wooden mock-up of the A7V was shown and proven satisfactory. In the same presentation on May 14th, 1917, the Orion-Wagen was shown off, as seen in the lower right at the Manser Sand demonstration. The reports read, and I'm quoting here, though it might be a little bit off from the German translation, the Orion-Wagen's performance at the evaluation was not very admirable. The track system continually slipped and eventually broke. After repair and tightening of the track linkage, it performed okay. Crushed barbed wire and passing through the obstacles provided on course with ease. It was not very successful in navigating over trenches, getting stuck frequently. The speed and pulling performance was hampered by the relatively weak 45 horsepower engine. Yes, so we will talk about this more in the statistic engine, but this tank suffered a lot from not good tracks and a very underpowered engine. Though to be fair, the engine was planned to be replaced. It just couldn't be replaced in time for the actual trial. Time just didn't permit that from happening. And more reports read, how far the 50 ordered Orion-Wagen are suitable for armoring remains to be seen. The chassis are expected in late summer. The peculiarities of the Orion-Wagen with its feet make it doubtful whether it can actually cross wire entanglements. The project however, had some friends in the OHL. So it was not canceled immediately because, well, when you have friends in the army, you tend to get stuff you want done. Only 29 of the 50 were actually completed, and 16 of these were accepted for army service. A lot of people think that the A7V was the only German tank to actually see combat. This is in fact not true. In reality, the Orion-Wagen also saw combat, and we have exact reports of one specific tank that did. So technically, these were adopted. And as you can see here, I just want to talk about this for a moment. As you can see down there, right here, the tracks tend to be a lot different than the normal landship tracks. They are not all interconnected, which it was a new track trial design with basically using springs for more propulsion to basically give it more speed. However, this made it much less maneuverable in the not clear terrain of the trenches, and it made it a lot harder for trench crossing. So it was kind of a double-bladed sword. Onto the actual statistics, the tank was based on a 4-ton Orion-Wagen, which was a type of tractor, I believe, to which essentially these shitty tracks were added. The tracks were just too complicated for the time, basically having springs that would compress to drive propulsion. This caused it to require a front wheel to aid its steering, similar to a Holt tank design that we'll discuss in future videos, or the early landship wheels that were found on the back. The trial prototype was armored in sheet metal with no armament, though plans would have had 4 Maxim guns, which you'll see in all these designs that Maxim guns are the chosen designs, not MG08s. There would be 1 on each side and 1 on the back and front. It would work similar to a Whippet as a tank, more for breakthrough roles. Now onto the second prototype. A second prototype was finished in late 1917 with the frontal steering wheel removed. Armament was to remain as 4 Magnum guns, but it would also have a male version with a 2cm Tankabwehr Becker M11. The male would also feature a fully rotating turret, which is obviously good for design. However, by now the Germans were set on the A7V, even though this second model, the male tank, would probably be better than the A7V. It would just be more maneuverable, it'd get stuck less, probably have less breakdowns. Only one prototype was built, which was rejected. Now on to prototype 3. I know the image quality is very shitty for these. I couldn't really find very good ones. I'm sorry for that. This model was designed for the German plan 1919. It would have 2 turrets. I'll try to point them out to you guys. This is the main turret with the same gun as the prototype 2, the 2cm Tankabwehr Becker M11. and another turret in the rear with a Maxim gun. So it kind of resembled more of the LK series in the original model. However, the designs never left the drawing board, partly because German play in 1919 never happened. Oh, sorry about that. But basically the plan would be you drive the tank forward using the gun to take out enemy tanks or field guns and such, and then in the back this gun would take out the infantry, the enemy infantry that you just passed by. So it wasn't too bad a plan, to be fair. Onto the actual service. One Orion-Wagen did see service in 1918 with Army Kraftwagen Kolon or Rappel AKKR 1116. Its results proved exactly why it was denied. The vehicle could barely make it through the crater-filled war zone and faced breakdowns due to its very underpowered engine. The Orion-Wagens were altered so they could serve in some type of offensive role with an engine upgrade to a 100 horsepower engine. Speed with these would have been about 5 miles an hour, so equal to most tanks at the time. The front wheel was replaced with an actual tire, and it weighed about 7 tons, mainly due to its shitty armor. As to final assessments, without a doubt, the original model Orion-Wagens produced are a very shitty bunch of tanks. They were underpowered and unsuitable for the terrain they would fight in. Even the A7Vs were better designs. However, the second design would have been a much better tank and much more effective, especially with the rotating turret and the gun on it. And the third version would have probably been even better than most tanks it could face, even a decent match against FTs. Unfortunately, Germany was just in no stable place to actually produce them, and it had its heart set on the A7V for some reason. While these vehicles would have been less maneuverable than a land ship or even an A7VU, their firepower and turrets would have made them formidable designs that they actually produced. Another problem is that they're fitted with Maxim guns, not MG08, so Germany would have to rely on their supply of captured machine guns, which is a very odd design choice for a tank. It's sort of like if like an American tank was fitted with an MG42 in World War II instead of a M2 Browning or M1919. It's very strange. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I think this tank is really interesting because a lot of people think the only tank Germany had was the A7V, which, don't get me wrong, it's also a tank, but the fact that these tanks existed and are so forgotten makes them sort of feel like a secret, you know? So I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, leave any questions, comments, concerns you have in the comment section below. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.